Hello and welcome, dear viewers, to a new episode of Windows. I'm your guest for tonight, Mohammed Abdurrahim, and tonight we'll be talking about Egypt's transformation into a hub for higher education, for distinct higher education. And with us is Dr. Mahmoud Azmi, the International Higher Education Consultant. A very good evening to you, Dr. Azmi, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening to you, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here, sir, with us. And, sir, when we talk about the government's efforts to turn Egypt into a hub, an attractive hub for higher education, we must first start by the directives that His Excellency President Sisi gave to the government in a cabinet meeting, and that consisted of many points, 8 of them to be exact, including the activation of the Egyptian Knowledge Bank initiative, the endorsement of cultural and educational development for the Egyptian personality, and the expansion in establishing distinct foreign universities that have very good rankings globally here in Egypt, among other points that we will be talking about here. We'll also want to tackle the challenges facing us and much more. So where would you like to start, Dr. Azmi?
Well, the most important point to start the initiative of His Excellency President Sisi when he decided to improve the higher education by inviting the foreign universities with high rank to come and work in Egypt, apply their knowledge and help the Egyptian universities to develop themselves too.
Right. So definite. So let's go about the points that His Excellency the President, the directives that he gave to the government. Let's take them point by point. So we're talking about the initiation of the Bank of Knowledge, the Egyptian Bank of the activation of the Egyptian Bank of Knowledge initiative.
This will come when you have the basic, which is the foreign knowledge, the academic knowledge, to develop the bank knowledge. And that's what I said. President Sisi asked that we should invite foreign universities to come, those from the top. In fact, he asked for universities from the top 50 ranks in the world. And they already spoke to His Excellency, and they agreed about the top 500, anyone from the top 500. To my understand, President Sisi was very keen to bring the foreign technology, the advancement of the education in Europe, in America, to come to Egypt and help lifting up the Egyptian educational system. But it seems that they already went directly to bring a branch campus.
We'll get to the point about the campuses, Dr. Azmi. But first about the Egyptian Bank of Knowledge.
Egyptian Bank of Knowledge, as I said, we don't have it because we don't have it.
It's an initiative to activate it.
Okay, in order to develop that, we have first to get the research, which we have a lack of it. And getting a research, we can easily invite those researchers who have sabbaticals from their universities to come to Egypt and start developing their projects, and we can have it in Egypt as it is Egyptian projects. Once we reach to that level, you will have the Bank of Knowledge. Don't forget, Egypt always was the Bank of Knowledge for the Middle East. We were the hub for the education in the Middle East. But in order to do that, first we have to develop a lot of things. We cannot have Bank of Knowledge and we don't have the elements for this bank, we have to develop our curriculums, we have to train our teachers. There's a lot of things we have to do in order to get to this point. Having bank of knowledge, it is not a beautiful thing, but it's a must. Especially we'd like to be in advance. But if we don't have the elements for that bank, how can we start?
Okay. Now, another point was the endorsement of the scientific and cultural development for the Egyptian personality.
You mean for the students graduating, or?
For the Egyptian personality.
Okay.
Yeah. But, and certainly this, of course, targets students mainly and high education students.
Luckily, we are now adopting whatever we call credit hour system in our educational system. This is an American system which mainly based on developing the personality of the students.
Right.
He graduate people who knows how to make a decision, how to think, how to move to the right direction, how to work in groups. There is a lot of advantage of this system. Luckily, we are following this system, but unfortunately, we need to polish up in operating this system in order to have full benefits of the system.
Okay. Now, to the point of the expansion in hosting and in establishing foreign campuses for foreign universities in Egypt. And of course, Egypt naturally targets those universities with high ranking international.
When we talk about this point, inviting universities to come, it means we are developing an affiliation with an academic affiliation with these foreign universities. The academic affiliation can be one of two ways. Either to bring the whole campus, their campus here, and you have no power over it, only you are monitoring what they are doing and giving them students to work and to be their students. A. B, academic affiliation between two universities, Egyptian and the foreign university. Honestly, and I believe whatever His Excellency President Sisi wants to do is to do number two, which is having an affiliation between Egyptian universities and the foreign universities. Why? When you have a foreign university comes here as a branch campus, will not do anything for improving the higher education. Only will graduate students with their diploma. Then you get some. Once they decide to leave, then there is nothing behind them, because everything was theirs, is not yours. But when you have an affiliation between two universities, Egyptian and the foreign one, first of all, the foreign university will not work with you unless you go up to their standard, not their standard, their accreditation agency standard, because they check on them. This way you are lifting up the academic system here in Egypt to get to the international one, and at the same time you get our students to graduate not with one diploma, with two diplomas, two certificates, one from Egypt, one from overseas. In the other case, you get the student to graduate with the foreign university diploma, and once they fold and leave, there is nothing left behind them, zero, which of course, number two, is better for us to work with, which I hope they will change the way going crazy, inviting universities to open branch campus here, and not realizing the damage happening to our educational system.
So, what is that damage? And if we host...
damage will leave us behind. We are going to be where we are. After 10 years, 15 years, yes, you have 15 years student graduates from there, but what did we gain for the Egyptian educational system in Egypt. You gain zero. Because no university going to come here and going to, besides having a branch campus, going to develop their system with your teachers, with your system. They take care of themselves and their students. But when you work,
The
affiliation between two universities, they have to work because it's part. You do teach this part, I teach this part. And it will lift up definitely. It will enhance our educational system. Not only that, teachers, which is the most important element. You know, we do have deficiencies in
university staff.
university teachers, actually. They are good. And by the way, when I talk, I don't talk general. I'm talking about some which in our system, educational system, one teacher, it's like a bad apple, can destroy the whole basket. Okay? So we have our teachers need a lot to work with in order to develop themselves and go up to the international standard. When you work with the other foreign university, they have no choice but to comply with the accreditation agency of the other university, which we need that. Our accreditation agency here actually have a lot of points which he need to work on it, to develop it actually. When you get a foreign university, you don't kid around. Either or. Either you go on or bye-bye, finish. Then we have to work in developing affiliation, academic affiliation with foreign universities, not to just to bring a branch campus for a university.
Okay. Now, another point that the President raised, the elevation of the quality and efficiency of the higher education system in Egypt, and also the competitiveness of the system. Could you talk to us about that? What do you mean by saying the quality, the efficiency, and efficacy, and also competitiveness? Let's take each of them one by one.
In general, because there are 4 points, every one of them need a whole episode.
We are here. We're
okay,
listening.
I'm not leaving too. First of all, efficiency. Efficiency comes from guideline. If there is a guideline going after you, you have to follow it, then you will be efficient in doing this one. I mean, the credit hour system has several points especially concern the teacher and the student. How teacher can be efficient if he follow those guidelines. We don't. We do it, unfortunately, they said we do it Egyptian way. If you do it Egyptian way, and we can see that we don't have this quality of education in Egypt, it means it will not be good. But if we would like to improve it, then we should follow the system which we adopted already. We adopted our system, we have to do it. Unfortunately, they don't do it. And that's why I said our accreditation agency in Egypt, who accredits the universities, the UNESCO said there is only 5% of the academicians in underdeveloping countries are just aware of the credit hour system. And 1% of support staff, same thing. That tell you, if you don't have it, you cannot give it. And in order to be efficient, in order to be creative, in order to be productive, in order to be all the points you said, first of all, we have to have it in order to give it. Unfortunately, we
Yes,
need.
but the goal is to raise
Yes, okay, but
the efficacy,
how can
the
we do it?
efficiency, and this is exactly my question.
How can we
The
do it?
quality
How
and
can
the
we do it?
competitiveness. So how can we do it?
Okay, we offer program, and luckily I went through few universities and I did it. And I would like they really use the expertise living people living abroad, the Egyptian Americans, who has worked long time with an American universities or European universities, to come here and work together with the academician in developing, in giving seminars, workshops, to tell them what it should be and what it shouldn't be. But if we are going to live in a system which we know it all, it will never work. You know, it's very, very important that we'll have the chance. For example, President Sisi developed one important council, which is the Higher Education, or the Education and the Culture Council. I would like President Sisi to involve in this council some of those prominent scholars, Egyptian, American, Egyptian, European scholars, those immigrants who are living over, to work with the Egyptians here. But if we are going to make this beautiful idea, a great idea, the Supreme Council of Education and the Culture, depending on those who are living in Egypt only, I don't think we are going to go anywhere. And I would like from here, I hope that he can hear us, requesting President Sisi to allow those Egyptian immigrants who owe a lot for this country to pay back. We have to pay back to this country. Then allow us to do it. And by the way, all of us, and I'm really talking about on behalf of our group, we are willing to do it voluntarily. We don't need anything, we don't want anything from this country, but we would love to give to this country something back based on what we owe.
Okay. Dr. Azmi, how do we, again, elevate the ranking of Egyptian universities and also research centers? And this is a very important point, the research centers.
Ranking depends a lot in, for example, Nobel Prize winners either working in the university or graduate from the university. Research, how much research we do, the curriculum and the teachers' quality. Those three main points, we have to have it here, and we still having a big problem with the 3 points. So in order to reach that level, first of all, we have to develop a research projects. Research projects will not be only good to have a rank, it will be good for the country, because they are doing things going back for the country. Let me give you an example which I feel sorry to say it. There is agricultural project, research project for Egypt. 2 universities applied for this grant money, to take money from the USAID to do the research projects. I thought there will be an Egyptian ones. Unfortunately, one is the American University in Cairo, and the partner, the second one, is Washington State University. Both American University and not Egyptians. And they did the project. Did what? Agriculture project for Egypt, which is financed by USAID. See, that's what I'm saying. We have to work on this one. We cannot sit down and researchers come to our offices. We have to go after that.
Okay, but surely there are efforts being made concerning elevating the researchers' skill There is financial endorsement to research centers. So talk to us about your ideas as a consultant on how to best make use of our research centers. How important is it to focus on research centers? How important is it to continue to endorse them financially and to increase the financial aid to them?
Okay, first of all, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there is no effort. There is a lot of effort. However, maybe it's not going in the right direction. Okay, and let us square this one. But in order to do and reach that level, we have a lot of research projects in Egypt, and we do have people after doing that. But we have, my belief, we have to partner with those who has the experience in this subject. Maybe we'll be better than them, but working with them, we can get some finance from them. One. Second, most of those people we are going to work with them, definitely they do have an excellent research background. They know how to do it, blindly how to do it. Then we are going to gain from them, definitely. I recommend in all universities there is something called sabbatical. They give the teacher a year to prepare a project, research project, and they pay him half of his salary. If Egypt open their arms for those scholars, for those researchers to come here to work in any of our universities to develop their projects, we will gain A, the project, the result of the project, B, the experience, C, will teach those who's going to work with him. How much did we pay? Zero. Because he's getting paid from that. He is not allowed actually to take money from us. Egypt is a beautiful, beautiful ground for a lot of researchers. They would love to come and do it here. But don't complicate the issues for them. First of all, see how they are working in their country, their system, and secure it for them here. Don't ever work in our system and say it's an Egyptian way. No, you are bringing him here with different mentality, different system, and willing to work with you. Then adjust, sit down with them, see how you can plan the research. By the way, any researcher cannot work alone. Always get a group from him. Then we gain training of our people for free. Plus the result which we need a lot of projects need to be done for Egypt. Those researchers will do it for you for free. We get zero, but we have to work for this one.
What about the researches to strengthen the educational system and to improve the educational system? Are we doing that? And how important is it to execute, to design researches that aim specifically at improving the educational system in the country?
Definitely, everyone is getting sabbatical, has his own research ideas. Then when you look for some, or you invite people to come, you invite specifically for whatever zones you'd like them to work on it. Developing curriculum, doing anything for health, for hospitals, whatever you want. All these ones are important. It's up to you to name what you want and they will come to you. By the way, former Minister of Higher Education had a good initiative. He already hosted a Zoom conference, it's visual conference for those scholars in Egyptian American academicians. we were 77 people sitting, and he had a good idea. He said, I would like you to tell me who is willing to come to work in Egypt for a year, for a semester, for 2 weeks. He gave us all the options. And he brought with him during the meeting the four presidents of the four universities, العالمين, الجلالة, جامعة Malik Salman, King Salman University, Mansoura, I think, number 4. Of course, all of us were very happy, and we filled a form there. Our culture attaché in DC, in Washington, he already sent us the application, and we filled out. We were very, very happy. You could have got 70 scholars from America to work and develop here, and we were willing even not to take a salary. That was, I think, 4 years ago. 3 years or 4 years
So
ago.
you'd like to see this happening now?
Never happened.
I mean, you would like to see.
I would love,
to see.
we would love this to happen here, but
Okay.
they never even
Now,
contact
now
us.
the online education is
Yes.
something very important nowadays, and I guess especially during and after the coronavirus pandemic, everybody, the world realized that online education is a must. Talk to us about the efforts aimed at improving the quality of online education in Egypt. How important is it to go fast in that track, and what suggestions you have to reach that goal?
You know, I'm very, very happy for your questions, actually. I don't know how did you touch every important issue. By the way, online education, which we call it distance learning,
Yes.
started 1893.
18?
1893. Now it's 131 years old. And unfortunately, none of the Arab countries accredit the online, even though we have whatever you call it, intisab. People,
Right.
that's distance.
Distance learning, yes.
And also, Ministry of Higher Education developed something called Open University, which had a tremendous amount of students, number of students, large, close 500,000 almost. But they did not follow the right way. Do you know that we do have 9.2 million Egyptians working abroad? Do you know that they are going for other universities to continue their education? Why not we do it? Then you ask me how to develop. I would like to ask you how we start. We don't start. It is not, it is blocked. It's forbidden. Unfortunately, I don't know why. Don't ask me why.
You mean it's not accredited? Yeah.
It is not allowed.
We already, but we do have online education now in Egypt in many universities, in many schools, and
Okay, let me clear one point. If any student who study in a university and doesn't prove that he attended 75% of the classes on the campus of this university, his diploma is not accepted in Egypt. Then don't tell me we have universities. We do have online happen when we have COVID-19. But they did it because they had to. And they did not accept even any, if you send your son overseas, or your son actually working here and they would like to get his master or doctorate, and they study online in Harvard University, #1 in the world. If he doesn't prove through his passport and through our cultural attaché's office in Washington, D.C., that he was there for 75% of the courses, of the classes, his diploma is not accepted. Then I know that you think I'm being negative. No, believe me not. I'm very optimistic. But you asked me a question, you said that how can we develop? I'm telling you how can we start. First we have to start it before we think how to develop it. I also...
So COVID was a good chance to start, and we started.
Absolutely. Why did we drop it? After that they canceled it again. That was an excellent idea. In fact, it was a great chance for them to expose this online teach. You know, nowadays life is very tough and people has to work. Even young people has to go and work. Then if you'd like to go and work, you must have online education. And to my opinion, honestly, students who study online is far better quality than students who study on class, because sitting in the class you are spoon-fed the knowledge, but studying online you go and search for the information yourself. Once you get it, you'll never forget it. But easy come, easy goes. When you sit in the classroom, you are spoon-fed with the information, you may lose it easily too. Then we should really, and I would love to see this day happen, when Egypt to be the leader of online in the Middle East, to teach the Middle East how they can do online education. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful one.
How easy or difficult will this be?
In 2018, I brought grant money. Actually, one of the top universities who teaches online, they agreed to come to Egypt and do infrastructure, do the study, and provide all the material for online. That to tell you, it is not difficult. It's easy, but we must welcome it. As an officials, we must welcome the idea. We must say, yes, we are going to go for it. I was in a meeting, actually, it was a big gathering for foreigners, Egyptian living overseas, and I was very happy to hear from the Minister of Education, not higher education. He said that he is starting developing online courses, which is a good idea. It's a great idea, actually.
Well, this is the final question. In your statements, I noticed more than once that you said the most important element in the process, of course, is the teacher, and that one teacher can, ruin what 100 teachers are doing. So, what are your recommendations for the improvement of teachers' skills, be it in traditional educational systems or in online systems?
Okay. First of all, we should not accept anyone who graduates with a bachelor degree to start teaching, or a master or a doctorate even. They must have the license. You have the diploma, you have the degree. This will allow you to go through license exam. License exam has a lot involved, psychological and scientific. They screen the teacher in front of them. They see if he can really provide or not. Teachers must have the license. Teachers must be, every 2 years, they must go for conferences or workshops to improve, because the knowledge and technology, it changes every 18 hours. Then don't graduate 1990 until 2024, you did not even go through reading or any new knowledge. You must, then two important things. First, we must continuously provide seminars to improve teachers. There are two items in create our system. One of them is student evaluation, and the second called teacher observation. Student evaluation, a student gets a piece of paper, has questions, well designed, to know exactly how the teacher operates in this class. The student doesn't put his name on it. It's anonymous. And teacher observation, also the dean of the school, the university, the college, will allow one of the teachers who is the same rank or higher rank to observe that teacher by questions already designed by the university. If the teacher doesn't reach 50% of good result from these two parts, you give him first warning. Then he will develop himself, because he will see where is his deficiency, where he didn't make good. He will start working on that. A. B, second time, if he got also under 50%, give the second warning. Third time, they tell him, thank you so much, goodbye. If a teacher knows that not because he become a teacher, no one can touch him, and they think who are untouchable, then how they can improve themselves? But if they know there is something...
Accountability.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
Measures to judge their performance, to assess their
Must be.
yeah,
Must
their
be.
success. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have.
See, that's what I said, and you
viewers.
said we have all the time. No, no, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Actually,
much.
it's love.
Thank you very much,
It's a very
Dr. Mahmoud
important.
Azmi, the International Higher Education Consultant. Always a pleasure to have you with us, sir.
Thank you so much, and I really would like to thank President Sisi for doing this initiative, because, by the way, getting into this big problem, improving the higher education system, it means he's not looking for a political gains, because this takes a lot of time to improve it. Then he is very brave to get into this point, and really I thank him, because if you would like to destroy any country, destroy the educational system on it. And thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you very much,
It's
sir.
really a pleasure.
Thank you. A pleasure is ours. Dr. Mahmoud Azmi, the Higher Educational Consultant. Thank you, sir, and thank you, dear viewers, for watching Windows. Please stay with Naya TV International. Goodbye.